What's going on, Rockstars? It is your girl, the leader of the Rockstars, Talia, Janette. Welcome to my channel. If you are new, welcome back. If you're a regular Rockstar, if you haven't already, you need to click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know when I upload, and we're gonna get right into it. Now, oh man, y'all, I've been wanting to record this video for the longest, and I know it's gonna ruffle feathers, and I'm not entirely sure. I wasn't too sure how to approach this, so I do have pinpoints that I do need to get across, but we're gonna take it step by step. Now, for those of you who have been living under a rock, we are almost 2 years into this whole pandemic. Yes, I said pandemic because this has gone way too far. This has escalated way out of control, y'all. Now, I want to start off by saying first, in no way, shape, or form do I think this virus is fake. I don't understand why a lot of you are thinking that those of us who are pro-freedom and pro-choice are thinking this is fake, because none of us said it's fake. What we're saying is that there is an underlying agenda to all of this. What we are saying is that the government, they're pushing something. Now, this is in no way, shape, or form to lower what anybody is going through. I apparently had the virus. I don't know what to believe at this point, because I took a test that said I had it. I took another test that said I didn't have it. So I personally am not entirely sure what I'm to believe at this point, because I literally took 2 tests in a matter of 2 days and got 2 different results. So something with me is just it's not sitting right in my spirit. But what I will say, a lot of you are not, I don't want to keep saying people need to wake up, because I don't even think it's that at this point. I feel a lot of you are choosing to ignore the situation at hand, if that makes any sense. A lot of you are choosing to ignore what's going on. A lot of you are choosing to ignore it because you've complied already. Now, I'm not knocking anybody who opted to comply because you were backed into a corner. There is a difference between being backed between a rock and a hard place and then complying just for the sake of complying. A lot of you complied for the sake of complying because you thought we were going to get back to where we were super early 2020, late 2019. I don't know if you guys are realizing it, but what's going on right now, today is December 26th. Today is my birthday. What has been happening since Thanksgiving? This is how 2020 started, with lockdowns happening, with all the mass hysteria. What I'm not a fan of propaganda. I'm not a fan of fear-mongering. This whole 2 years has probably been the most draining in my 31 years of living on this planet. I've never seen so much division in the 31 years I've been on this realm. It is so much division amongst people who have chosen to comply and those who haven't. There's so much division among the people who are boosted versus the people who complied and are not boosted, and you're not choosing to see the division at this point. Some of you are really feeding into the division, and those are the people that I have a problem with. The people who are saying, oh, you deserve to lose your jobs, you deserve to lose your health care, you deserve not to be in the hospital if something else not relevant to this virus happens. You are the people I have problems with. I don't understand why, if someone chooses not to comply, they deserve to lose their livelihood. make it make sense. You're saying someone who, I don't know, if they go to the hospital for pneumonia or something else, they don't deserve a spot because they chose not to comply because you complied. And the only way to stop all of this will be mass non-compliance. Now, again, for those of you who have complied because you had no choice, you got mouths to feed, X, Y, Z, I understand that. But you also have to realize too, at some point, this is going to trickle down and impact your lifestyle. You have to also speak up now before it's too late. Now, though, there are some of you who like to say, oh, you people aren't complying because you're saying you don't know what's in the shot, but you don't know what's in X, Y, and Z. You're absolutely right. Most of us haven't. It's not a matter of not complying because you don't know what's in it. That, I believe that was the argument at one point. Like, I think when all of this first started this year, that was definitely a huge focal point for a lot of people. But that's not the focal point anymore. One of the huge focal points I know among the holistic community, can you detox from it? So far from what I've researched and from what I've been hearing, you can't. Because it's not a heavy metal shot like your MMRs, your, what's the other one y'all like to throw out there? Varicella, your, what is it? Your TB and all of that. All of that has heavy metal, and you can detox from heavy metal. Gives you some cilantro, enough of it. Put that, some activated charcoal. You get a lot of the heavy metals out of your system. And probably most of us who have gotten these other said stabs, our bodies have probably detoxed us from that already. Especially if you started taking care of your body in your adult life, you've probably already detoxed all of that out of your system. This current experimental shot, there's no way in doing that if it's an mRNA. No one knows if you can detox from that. So far, no one has found a way to detox from it because there might be nanotechnology in it. We don't know. The CDC has the ingredient list on their website. However, they've altered that and everything is not listed on their website. So they'll have the, what is it? If I find it, I'll post it somewhere right here. The ingredient list that the CDC website has, because you guys love pulling the CDC information out of your asses. So this is what they have posted, but this is not the full ingredients list. So the CDC will only have the lipids, the sugar, the salt parts, the nice ingredients are listed on their website because of course they know people are going to dig deeper. However, everything else is not listed. Also, the FDA, those people too, because y'all love pulling them out of thin air as well. The FDA has already stated that this experimental shot does not work. This is why they're telling you you're going to need a booster every 3 months. I've never had a shot where I needed a booster every 3 months. I can't tell you the last time I got a booster for anything at this point. I don't recall maybe 5 or 6 years ago when my first boost for when I was teaching expired. And being a teacher or doctor, I believe, are like one of the few professions where you have a booster that is required a certain amount of years. No other job requires a booster. Now all of a sudden you need a booster to work. Y'all gotta stop playing with me. Y'all gotta stop playing in my face. All right, then let's talk about the agenda a little bit more. This video may not stay up on here long, knowing how YouTube gives it up to now. I don't know if some of you see what's going on in other countries where they are building quarantine camps. They like to call them quarantine camps, but we know that they're concentration camps. They're trying to do that in America. I believe they've already started building them. How that's going to play out, I'm not entirely sure. I cannot speak for every state in the US except the state that I live in. I live in, unfortunately, New York. Now, there's a bill that they're trying to pass on January 5th. And I hope, if the human race still has an ounce of decency, that the public will vote no and we'll start getting these people out of office. But I believe it's Bill A4216. I'll put the correct name right here. But this bill that they're trying to pass, that has been on the voting block a few times now in the last few years, is that the governor, if she deems you a threat to public health, she has a right to remove you and detain you. Not if, the health department deems you, if she feels you are a threat, you will be removed and detained. Now, the CDC has this on their website. It's called the shielding approach. They playing in y'all faces. And again, you guys are choosing to ignore it. Stop playing in my face. So this bill will allow people who are deemed health threats. Now, it's going to start off as the people who didn't comply. You don't think that that's going to trickle down to people who have other contagious issues? Think about it. There are several other bills. That they are trying to vote on impacting your children. Now, I know when we were kids, we used to do some wildness behind our parents' backs, but this, you're saying that a child will not need a parent's consent to get anything in school. So if they choose to inject your kid with crack cocaine, they won't need your consent to do so. If they want to inject your kid with Ritalin, they don't need to run it by you. So remember how a lot of you parents also, you like to ignore when teachers would give parent-teacher conferences and we would tell you this about your child. You need to do this, because what's going to happen, they're going to put your child on something at some point in public school. This is what's going to happen. A teacher is going to complain about your child at some point and say, oh, little Jimmy, he's very hyper. That's all they're going to need to hear. And once they hear that, you're out of the equation as a parent. They're going to take all this documentation from the teacher and they're just going to put little Jimmy on the Adderall or the Ritalin. And then you're going to wonder why your child is a shell of his self. It's because you gave up that right and you allowed the system to do what they wanted. There was another one that actually bothered me. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can find it. Because it's just a lot going on with these bills in New York. Like I said, I can't speak for no other state except New York. I know California, I forgot if it was some city in California that they actually just got the mandate for kids attending school lifted. So shout out to Cali. Y'all still got backbones. New York, y'all are just folding like pieces of paper at this point. It's actually very disappointing. But yeah, I can't find what I'm looking for initially. But yeah, you guys are not realizing that it is about to get really critical if you guys allow them to take our rights more than what they're doing. I found what I was looking for. The elimination of religious, and I don't understand how you're telling someone that their religion doesn't matter. I don't know if y'all realize that this is part of the reason why a lot of wars are also an issue, is because we're not respecting people's religious freedom. So in New York, I believe it was Cuomo and de Blasio. I forgot which one did it. They both can go at this point. They got rid of religious exemption. Now, I don't know how when, you know, they say we separate church from state, right? We've done all of this, but you're telling me my religion doesn't matter. So if my belief tells me I'm not to put anything in my body that shouldn't be there, how are you telling me that I have to do it in order to work? I also feel that, with that being said, it sounds very illegal. It sounds super duper illegal at some point, but y'all are letting them do this at this point, because all we had to do when these mandates first came down, again, this is only for New York. If you're somewhere else and y'all are rocking and y'all are making sure all these mandates don't come down, kudos to y'all. But New York, all of this could have been stopped had sanitation stopped picking up garbage, had NYPD walked off, had FDNY walked off, had DOE closed the schools down, had teachers walked off, had transit walked off. This city don't move if the buses and trains don't move. So that's the crazy part. Like, we could have had these mandates lifted in 3 days, to be quite honest. Had those departments all walked out together, 3 days, the universe already told me how that would have planned out. 3 days is what it probably would have took. You cannot have y'all been in New York City since all of this happened? It's real ghetto out here. New York's crime rate has skyrocketed. If NYPD would have walked off their jobs, the city would have burnt down in 3 days. Had y'all would have stopped transit, ooh. Had y'all would have let them buses and trains not, ooh. Had y'all would have shut them schools down and parents would have been forced to deal with their kids, because you know this generation of parents, y'all don't like being home with y'all kids. I've realized. Ooh, we would have had our city back by now. We would have had our city back, but no, y'all got bullied and punked by the government. Okay, where's your president and your vice president in all of this? You know, I don't even want to talk about Biden. Where's Kamala at? This woman sat here. She used her black card. She used her HBCU card. She used her sorority card. She used her Indian card. And what happened? Sis been MIA for a year. The only 2 times I've seen Kamala since all of this has happened was when she was going on The View and they pulled them 2 ladies off the air because they apparently had tested positive before she came out, and when she was on Charlemagne's show a few weeks ago and he asked the questions that we should have been asking her, and she got offended by it and they cut the interview short.
Who's the real president of this country? Is it Joe Manchin or Joe Biden, Madam Vice President?
Why again do y'all think she would make a good president? Because she ain't doing a good job as vice president.
No.
Y'all think just because she's black, all skin folk ain't kinfolk, and y'all really let her sell us up the river as a people.
And it's Joe Biden. And
Biden, I'm still trying to figure out how this man is even still deemed fit to be commander of the free world. But he's everything y'all thought Trump was fitting to be. This man had got on national TV and said that the people who chose not to comply are looking at a winter of severe illness and death. As someone who was supposed to be a leader, why would you even say that? I felt that was so inappropriate for him to say. Like, when most people have survived this virus. Bro, the faster y'all get him out of office, the better. I don't think we need him another 3 years. Like, I think his year has shown he's not competent enough to be president, that he has failed. He needs to go. I'm trying to think what else. The whistleblowers. that have been coming out for Pfizer, for the FDA, for the CDC. Now, y'all love saying things are a conspiracy theory, and they're not. When they're really happening and playing out. We told you guys last year they were going to put out a shot. When the shot came out, it was going to be a situation where you wouldn't be allowed anywhere. What happens? In New York City, if you don't have this shot, you can't go anywhere in New York City. We told you a passport was going to happen, or some type of tracking system. What happened? They like to call it contact tracing. That's what they like to call it, but we know what it really is. So they do the contact tracing, and a lot of places are doing passports now, which to me is ridiculous, because if this is already in a federal database, why do I need any more tracking? Y'all following me? Okay. Then we told you guys as well, some point chips were going to happen. They haven't happened here yet, but in Sweden, they started doing this, I think, in 2019, the tail end of 2019, where they're gonna spin this as the people willingly got it. Okay, they willingly got it, but now the passports are being implemented on this. Okay, we told you that they are going to slowly try to start incorporating a cashless society and a social credit system. China's already doing it. So you're okay with them having complete and utter control of your money, of your credit cards, of everything that you do. And the minute you disagree with something that they do, all they're going to do is hit a switch and you have access to nothing. Nothing. And I'm talking about if you complied, if you didn't comply, if you're thinking about complying, if you regret that you complied, just in that general sense. You go against what they say, they're going to turn everything off for you. And then what are you going to do? I'll wait. You tell me what you're going to do when they turn off all your stuff and you don't have access to your bank. You don't have access to your money. You can't buy food. You don't have access to this. You don't have access to that. You want to tell me what are you going to do? Exactly. So, you guys don't think we should stop this agenda now? That we should, as a people, maybe, I'm just saying, maybe fight the system a little bit? I want it to make sense, and I've been trying to make it make sense for 2 years, and all you guys can tell me is, trust the science. Trust the science. I, as a black woman, will never trust the science. I will never trust a medical system that has never worked for my people. I will never trust a system where if I decide to go give birth in a hospital, it is a higher chance that I will die versus my white counterparts. I will not trust a system who willingly injected my people with a virus and willingly told them that this was something completely different and watched the reactions that this said shot had on them. Yeah. I can't trust, like I said, some of us have different battles that we're fighting. I can't trust that. You may trust it because it worked different for your ancestors. I can't trust it. I can't trust that type of system at all. And I never will. I cannot trust a political system that has constantly worked against my people. But you want me to trust the government. Okay. You want me to trust a government that is telling me, if I don't get this, I cannot be part of society, but yet they still want me to pay taxes. I think if you didn't comply and they're telling you you can't go into places, you shouldn't have to pay taxes this upcoming year. If I'm not allowed to be a member of society, I shouldn't have to pay taxes. But they won't do that part though, right? Like I said, y'all letting them play in y'all faces, boy. Y'all really letting them play in y'all faces. I'm trying to think what else. Like I said, I know this is going to ruffle feathers. And y'all love to keep saying, oh, people have died. I'm aware of that. People die from heart disease more than they've died from this virus, but yet y'all still out here eating Big Macs. Like, y'all want to bring up a weird counter argument to this, and I don't entirely know why. Like, it's very, the counter arguments have been very weird. Just like, your only argument is people have died. People have died. People have died. We get that. No one is refuting that people have died. Like, we get that. I understand that. However, you guys are not making the proper lifestyle changes. You cannot sit here and tell me to put something in my body when you're still out here drinking Monsters and Red Bulls. Bro, I keep telling you, y'all keep drinking them Bangs and them C4s, your hearts are going to explode. And they'll label it as a pandemic death. Y'all keep drinking that Red Bull if y'all want. Y'all keep drinking the Monsters and the C4s and eating the gas station food. And you know who you are. I can't. I really, like, I can't, because y'all will try to justify everything that this government is doing right now. And, like, they're playing in your faces. They are playing in your faces. You guys are making the weirdest justifications for them. And they're not for you. This is what I don't understand. I don't get how holistic doctors have gone missing. And again, this is, I can't speak to people who I can't relate to their struggle and vice versa. I can only speak to my people of color, my indigenous people. Our ancestors didn't need all of this. You know what our ancestors did? They used herbal medicine. That's what they did. There is a plant for everything on this planet. For those of you, I'll go even a step further. For those of you who like to pull your Bibles out and get all religious on people, there's a section in Genesis where it says there is a plant. They gave you the cure. The Bible tells you that there's a cure for everything. But Big Pharma has realized if they cure you, they lose a customer. So why would I cure you if it means I can keep you sick, I can keep you in the hospital, I can keep you buying medication, I can keep charging you insurance, as opposed to you healing yourself? But you have a headache, there's an herb that can help with that. You have stomach issues, there's an herb that can help with that. You can't sleep, there's an herb that can help with that. You have cancer, there are herbs that can help with that, and dietary lifestyle changes that you have to make. But you guys choose not to do it because you trust your government and you want quick fixes. I don't know what else to tell y'all at this point. Like I said, this has been on my conscience and my spirit for a few weeks now, and I know y'all gonna have an issue with this video, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm okay if there's a difference of opinion, like long as we're being respectful about it. Like the name calling, I'll probably turn the comments off on this video because y'all be wilding, and I'm trying to be a better person in 2022. Y'all will not drain my energy. Your government's doing that enough. You're not going to drain my energy. But what I will say, for those of you who did not comply, stand in your truth. We are fighting in a complete and utter psyop. We are in spiritual warfare. Please stand in your truth. Continue doing what you're doing because we need soldiers like you in this battle. For those of you who complied for whatever reason, I don't care why you complied at this point. For whatever reason you complied for, just know your voice will still matter when we need it. Your voice will make a difference. You can still help stop this agenda. If you continue to let the agenda get pushed, at some point it will affect you. It is going to affect you. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when it's going to affect you. It may not affect you next month. It may not affect you within the next year. But at some point, it will affect you. And you have to think, damn, I could have said something. I could have stopped this. As a whole, guys, we got to start taking better care of our bodies. Y'all see in the last 3 weeks, everybody named of the sick now. Some of us do have the virus, some of us don't. Some of us just have cold, some of us don't. Some of us have the flu, some of us don't. Some of us are just really unhealthy, some of us aren't. You got to start making the changes now. Start taking better care of your bodies. Vitamin D. The sun is going down at 3:30 every day now. Start taking a vitamin D supplement. Please. Please stop just letting the sun go down and you not get any sunlight. I know some of us can't do it during the day, but take a vitamin D supplement. Drink more water, bro. Drink some tea. Stop drinking all that coffee. Drink some tea. That coffee is making your body acidic. Drink some tea, bro. Get some herbs. Cut the sugar. Limit your meat intake. Limit your dairy intake. To eat some fruit. Stop eating the seedless fruit. Get you some seeded fruit if you can. I can't wait for seeded watermelon to come back in season. I can't wait to find me some seeded grapes. Get you some seeded fruit. Eat you some vegetables. Get you some leafy greens. This is the season for leafy greens. Some kale, some collard greens, some lettuce, some broccoli. Get you some green vegetables with some chlorophyll in it, bro. Like, let's go. That's it. I don't know what else to tell y'all about this, but just note that the agenda is being pushed, y'all. And we can stop it. We into the thick of it, and I'm just trying to see everybody on the other side of this war. And I would hate it if it comes down to it, but it might be a separation of Earths at this point. But those of us who are choosing not to be part of this, that's what's happening. But that's really it. If y'all want to talk about it, hit me up on Instagram. I don't know what else to say to y'all about this, but if you made it this far into this video, thank you. If you stick around and you stay a rock star, I appreciate it. If not, it's okay. I'll see you on the other side of the war. Be well.